Hey YouTube. So I looked online for some kind of a storage device for my Harley Tour Pack and for the backrest for my Harley. And I found a couple things, which something like this, and there's other ideas that people have done. You search YouTube, you can see where some people have built their own rack. But I just didn't think that what I saw was either too much. I thought too much money for what it was, or quite frankly, not. I wasn't comfortable that it was strong enough to hold my gear. So I decided to try and make something, and I think it's worked out pretty well. Um, this is a mount that I've built out of plywood and all thread and some PEX tubing. And as you can see, I'll back up here. I've mounted this on an engine stand that I'm not using and don't have plans to use. I built this engine stand as well for a big block Ford that I built. But this engine stand essentially I won't get rid of in case I need it. But it was taking up room in the shop, and so what better use than to really put the tour pack here and my backrest. So I've built this. I've probably over-engineered it, but I want it to be very, very strong, and not and certainly not in any way allow any harm to come to my tour pack. I've got angle brackets here, top and bottom. I've got angle brackets on the inside, top and bottom, and then I also put some of this 90-degree channel in here. This is commonly used in like garage door openers, etc. And then I've got all thread going through here. This is 7/16 all thread, and then this is PEX tubing, which is commonly used in water systems, right? In homes and RVs and what have you. And turns out this PEX tubing is the perfect size for the locking latches on your tour pack. It just works great. And so you can also very easily build something like this and mount it to the wall. So instead of mounting to the back of my engine stand, as you see I've done here, you could very easily mount this to your wall. You obviously would want to hit studs, 16 on center, whatever you might have, but you could very well do that. Now, the way I designed the holders here for the tour pack top, the tour pack is going to hang over a little bit here. I wanted it that way. If you're going to mount this on a wall, you want to move all of this back so you'd have enough room that the front of the tour pack would obviously not hit the wall. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like with the tour pack bracket on it. I took the mounting bracket off of my tour pack so I could use it to build this. Certainly didn't want my tour pack itself to be in harm's way, so it's easy enough to just remove it through these 4 screws in each corner, and it popped right off. And I was able to use it to obviously design and set up the mount here. So the way this works is you'd have your tour pack, and I wanted this to work such that it would work easily even if you can't see where this is supposed to go. So I made this such that if you have the tour pack and you really can't see what's going on down in here, that all you have to do is come in with the tour pack, come in like this, and then pop it up, and you'll feel it latch on the front. Once you've got that, then coming down and latching each side is very straightforward. And once each side is in fact latched, you can see that it's very, very sturdy. Doesn't go anywhere. I've actually got it designed such that the height of the tour pack is off of the foam, But this foam is here just in case you would, touch it with the chrome, what have you. You don't want to, you don't want to scratch anything. It's on here. It's not going anywhere. It does have a little bit of give because the PEX tubing fits the lock perfect. This is a perfect fit with the PEX tubing. Up front is a little bit of give, as you can see. And actually, I like that. I wanted that. I didn't want it to be so tight that that it was kind of difficult to build. This is not precision craftsmanship in any way. But that'll be great. And the tour pack will sit up here, and then it will come out to the front about so far, something like that. And I'll get some video of the tour pack once I get it mounted on there. Let's take a look at the backrest, how it's stored. All right, so I went ahead and mounted the backrest on there. Nothing complex, or really no need to show you how that's done. It's the same thing, just the same procedure as the tour pack. Bring this up in first, and then swing it in to latch in the back. And once again, when this is on here, it's very firm. And so in mounting this way, the headrest itself is out of harm's way. It's tucked under where the tour pack's going to be, and it's it's in a safe place. The one thing I would caution you on is when you're designing this and determining where you're going to put your two mounts here. This has got to swing when it first comes in before it latches, and make sure you have room, particularly if you have a wall here. You want to make sure you have room to swing it in place and lock it. Here's a view from the back. So one question that I'm sure you're going to ask, or you'll be curious about, is how come there's so much more space on this side than there is this side? And wouldn't I want this to be mounted pretty much on the center of the engine stand? And the answer is yes, absolutely. That was my plan. What I ran into, unfortunately, was that I had built this thing and I brought it up to bolt it in place. And these are the two upper bolts. There's two lower bolts as well, but the upper bolts, turns out their distance is pretty much spot on with where where these two boards are here, these two pieces of plywood. So I had to shift it left to right. I shifted this way, and then I cut off this side of the board to just make it, less in the way. So, as far as that's concerned, it was kind of a miss in engineering, but it's going nowhere. It's really strong, and it's a inexpensive way to make a reliable, sturdy mount for your tour pack and your backrest. All right, so here's my tour pack mounted back on its bracket and installed on the stand. And as you can see, it fits pretty well, very sturdy. Now again, if you're going to mount this to the wall, right here would be your wall, you can see it interfere. This would interfere with the wall. So all of this would need to be moved back a good 2-3 inches. But it should be very stable. If you use maybe a thicker wood than I did here, a thicker plywood, it might be even more sturdy. But this is not going anywhere. This is very sturdy. And the fact that it's on my engine stand actually is kind of nice. I can roll it around. In fact, I could roll it right out next to the bike, take it off, put it on the bike, and not have to walk around the garage with it, worry about scratching it, dropping it, what have you. So, I don't know. As it turns out, I think the engine stand's kind of a good idea. It would be a little bit nicer if it was square on there. You can see it's a little bit, the tour pack's a little bit to the right as compared to the engine stand, but that's not a big deal. I'm not worried about that, If I was going to redesign this, maybe if you guys build one of these, send me a link to your video. If you do this, then, you might want to think ahead where I didn't, and plan for centering. Or if you just mount it to the wall, it doesn't matter, right? So, hope you found this useful. Ride safe. Keep the dirty side down.